Brighton 0, Manchester United 2. I'm joined by Andy Tate. Last game of the season, 8th place finish for Manchester United, the worst in Premier League history. Give me your thoughts on, well, we'll get to the game today, but the season as a whole. What has gone wrong for Manchester United?
You could see it from the first game of the season with Wolves, couldn't you?
Yeah.
The way we played, the way we started our season, we were fortunate to get away with that as well from the pen from Andre 3000. And it's just gone from one calamity to the next. You can say injuries, you can say luck, definitely a hell of a lot of decisions. We get kicked in the teeth on decision-wise. I think you can go back to Garnacho's goal at Arsenal, the winner. You can go back to, say, the pen, Old Trafford with City, because at 24 hours, the day before, there's one carbon copy, and you don't give it in a game with two other teams. So it's what football is, isn't it? So you just got to accept the decisions. You go week in, week out. Injuries, management decisions, players spitting the dummies out, slamming it in Belfast, disciplinaries, on and off allegations with other players as well, taking timeouts and coming back. It's been everything, everything. But the worst thing is the lack of performances and giving a toss for the badge this season.
Yeah. Do you think, obviously we've won today, do you think that there's been any times where you go, I'm really proud of what they've done today? Or do you think just generally this season, for me, it's just felt like there's been wins, obviously, and we've won some games, and maybe other than the Liverpool quarter-final, it's really felt like a season completely lacking pride and just sort of really kind of gripping emotional performances that you can get behind. Maybe the 3-2 against Villa on Boxing Day, that was one where you felt like there was a real fight and fire there. But there's been so many performances where it's just nothing there. Why do you think that is? Why do you think we've seen so little in terms of the kind of, I hate the word passion because it's so overused, but passion really that you would expect from a team who was third last season and ideally pushing forward, not looking backwards?
Yeah, I expected this season to be our first season last year.
Yeah.
And because we had so much optimism coming in from the previous season. And we go, well, I thought, yeah, we could have a crack at the top 4, top 3, even maybe challenge for the league. And we never got it going. You could blame off the field issues as well with the takeover. That surely played a part, a hell of a part. We were spun this, that and the other. And like you say, money dominates, greed dominates everything. It even dominates it on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because I even heard like the players are getting upset by the takeover as well. You hear that from journalists. So every nook and cranny of this club has been exposed for what it is this season. From players, effort, work rate, medical, Carrington, even the ground. Breaks me heart to see it now. I must say now we need a new ground after seeing the old girl. That was like seeing you. It's like seeing a family member dying. I've done that, and it's not nice. So we are lowest of the low. Like you say, I mean, relegation. Thank God we didn't get that. So it's just to finish on 60 points. We just surpassed our previous record by 1 point. And I think we've caught the Arsenal syndrome now.
Yeah,
so
a little bit.
To finish 8th, but Arsenal won an FA Cup. So here's to next week and optimism.
Well, we'll get to that because obviously there is a level of optimism that we could take into that. Just on what you just said there, you've talked about how a lot of different components of the club have sort of been exposed this season, and some of that's just been, nature with the rain. Some of that's been what INEOS have done and come in and sort of started pointing fingers and looking at certain things. Some of that's been the decision making of the players and manager. Do you think if there is a positive to be taken from this season, that maybe we've got new owners who know more about football than the last owners for sure, they're co-owners. Do you think maybe at least they know what they've got at least they know Carrington's not right, as you said. The Old Trafford isn't right. The players aren't right. There's disciplinary issues. Maybe Ten Hag isn't right, or you can have your opinion on that. Do you think at least you can say, well, at least INEOS have got an idea of what this thing is they've just spent £1 billion on, and maybe we can start to fix those things rather than things being covered up by good performances that maybe we saw last season?
Yeah, they've bought a 1977 vintage Millennium Falcon. And if you want to restore it, I've seen a video, the guy restores it to its immaculate, it's beauty, and it still works with the batteries and all. I've seen it. It's out there on YouTube. That's what United needs to be. That's what it is. We need a full restoration, inside and out. Strip it, break it down, clean all the components, and just rebuild it back. And it still works after 50 years. It still works, that Millennium Falcon. So that's what United needs to do, because I think the last 7 days, like you say, it's been a wake up call for INEOS with this. They were there early last week. The stadium, the faculties, the team, the attitude. Like you say, if they want to start, like you say, sort out the media as well, sort out the journalists. You're not in, you're banned, you're not coming in. I don't care if you're from a local newspaper and you think you have a self-entitlement to report on the team, on the club, where you just are a nuisance of a reporter. And there's other reporters who are good, and there's other reporters who are bad as well. So I think INEOS needs to see everything, strip it, break it, rip it apart, and rebuild it from the team, from the media, from the communication with the fans, to this, let's say, the training ground, the manager. Are you going to back him? What happens next week? If it goes the term upside down or down under, and that's being nice without swearing, you're going to back him come Monday morning? Is Man City going to be parading around Manchester with 2 trophies? And you're going to, how are we going to feel next week? If that happens, I'm not saying it will. You always got to believe and fight for next season, for next week. So, a lot of questions going to be answered within the next 10 days, but focus is now on to next Saturday. Do I go? Do I want to be broken, upset? Do I want to be celebrating, bouncing around as well? So, last year it really hurt, and the 2 derbies this season as well. Like you say, you got to take your chances. Like you say, if you're through 1-1 again, Rasha, if you get to start, don't just think one moment in time. You got to do it every time. If you get to play next week, I mean, do we play Ahmed next week? Like say Martinez comes back, you play McTominay, you rest Casemiro. Who knows? City have got the luxury; they can do what they want. We have to put a bandage, strap it all together, and get through 90 minutes, potentially even extra time and pens. It could be nice next week. It could be an absolute massacre.
Yeah, good. Just finally, because I think obviously the Brighton game, it's almost part of the season as a whole, isn't it? Just a final word on this season. Like, we're leaving this season behind, the Premier League season. What would you say to this season if you could speak to it directly?
It's been a farce on and off the pitch with other things as well. VAR, waste of time. Performances not very good from United. Performances from other teams. If they want to say Arsenal bottled the league title, they can say decisions didn't go their way as well. So it's like I said, there's going to be a big vote on VAR. Seeing that with Wolves, is it going to get abolished? I don't think so. I want it to be how it was. Talking about the decisions, it was old school. You know what I mean? So I want to see a better Premier League, more competitive Premier League next season. I want to see a more competitive Manchester United. The only thing I like this season is, like I say, we got the youngsters, and that is the future. And let's say transfer, no European football next season. If we don't get it, will that hinder us in the transfer market? I don't know. No Europe, no distractions. 1 game a week. Could that do well for you? You never know. Look at Arsenal last season. So you don't know what's going to happen. We got the Euros. Then we, like say, straight back into action. And like say, you guys going to America. and pre-season, I might even go up to Murrayfield to watch United v Rangers. I might
Good
do
idea.
that out my own back pocket. So yeah, I'm off that weekend. So that might be a wee ride up the road up to Edinburgh. You know.
Yeah.
So
perfect accent.
Perfect accent. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not from Glasgow like Rab Sinners, but you know. So yeah, that might be my next game. Rangers away. It'd be good. Is it Rangers? I think it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be good. So it's to next week, and we hold our breath.
We hold our breath indeed. Cheers, Andy. Cheers for coming on this season. Obviously, we'll get you on after the cup final as well, with hopefully some silverware in the back pocket.
Should I stay or should I go?
Yeah, very exciting. Thank you for joining us at home as well. Andy Tate, looking back at the season we have had, the disastrous season that we have had as Manchester United fans. We'll see you in a bit.